Breaking news here to Fantasy Football Today, CBS Sports HQ. The Vikings are going to be without Dalvin Cook this week as they take on the Los Angeles Rams. According to the NFL Network, he's been placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. So here we go. Another star player not expected to play. Now we'll find out if he's vaccinated or not and how that will determine if he's able to clear the protocols. But at this point, we have to expect that he's not going to play in Week 16, and as we've seen, Alexander Mattison has stepped up and played very well in place of Dalvin Cook. So, is that where we are once again? Alexander Mattison must start fantasy running back against the Rams?
100%, absolutely. I've not updated the projections yet, but he might be number 2 behind Jonathan Taylor. It's just like we've seen him 25-plus touches in the 3 games that he has started. He's been heavily involved in the passing game. He is the only option in the red zone. Alexander Mattison, you may just scratch out Dalvin Cook at number 2 there, put Mattison.
I don't know if he'll be quite that high for me, but he'll be toward top 5. I'm just looking at the list now and seeing Nick Chubb there. Yeah, he might be ahead of Nick Chubb in full PPR as well. He's been outstanding for them, and the good news is he's already been on the COVID list this year. So it's not like he's got a chance to go back on it, I don't think, because he's already had it, passed through it. Now he's back and ready to play. You'll wait and see. But this Rams defense, a running back has had at least 50 yards and a touchdown in 3 of their last 4 games. A running back has scored on them in 6 of their past 7 games. This is a good opportunity for Alexander Mattison to rack up carries, help carry that Vikings run offense like he has already this year.
Now, just because he just was off the reserve COVID-19 list, did not play in their most recent game against the Bears. You've heard a lot of talk about Nwagunu and just how good he's looked and the opportunity for him to be more involved. He was the backup to Dalvin Cook in the game against the Bears. Any chance that we see more of a committee than we've been seeing because it is Mattison coming back from being on the reserve COVID-19 list, or just we're going right back to Alexander Mattison?
2 things. Number 1, I think they trust Alexander Mattison in that role, and this team has always been a one running back type team. At least this year it has been with Dalvin Cook. There was maybe 1 game where Cook wasn't 100%, and they mixed and matched with Mattison in that game. Number 2, Nwagu's great on kick returns, so they might want to really have him focus on that and be a change of pace guy with Mattison. Maybe that happens, but then we're talking about maybe 3 or 4 touches for Nwagu throughout the course of the game. I think Madison's in line for 20 carries again.
Yeah, there could be a little bit more sharing than what we've seen in the past, but like I said, we saw 32 touches for Alexander Mattison the first 2 games that he played, 25 in the third. We're probably closer to 25 than to 32. I'd be really surprised if it was less than 18 touches for Mattison.
What does this change, if at all, for the passing game? For Kirk Cousins, they might get Thielen back, Jefferson. It's a tough matchup. I mean, look, this Rams defense is no joke.
No.
And so, Conklin, Osborne, where do we come out for the passing game without Cook there?
I'm not really excited about Osborne or Conklin, whether Thielen plays or not. And not having Dalvin Cook there, maybe that opens things up for the short area passing, but Madison's done that too. I really don't think that this is really that big of a deal for the passing game changing much in Minnesota, because it's almost like Madison's plug and play, just like he is in fantasy. If you've got Cook, you've got Madison, you take one out, you put the other one in your lineup. And I think for the Vikings, it's the same thing. You just take Dalvin Cook out, you put Alexander Mattison in. You know he's not quite as explosive of a running back as Dalvin Cook is, but he can do all the things that Dalvin Cook can do, and that's a relief for Minnesota in their offense right now. I would be more encouraged by Kirk Cousins if he had Adam Thielen playing this week. Hopefully he is ready to go. He comes back from this ankle sprain, has some explosiveness in his lower body, and can go out there and play and be a red zone threat for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change much in the way they distribute targets, because we've seen Madison in the 3 games without Cook has averaged 6 targets per game. So he's getting all of the pass attempts that were going to Dalvin Cook. I don't think it's more targets for anyone else. I don't know that it necessarily changes the way that the Rams play defense. Osborne pretty much comes down to, is Thielen back? If Thielen's back, you can kick Osborne to the curb.
All right, so again, the breaking news here is Dalvin Cook placed on the reserve COVID-19 list, not going to play in Week 16 against the Rams. Check your waiver wire, see if Alexander Mattison is out there. If not, if he is, go get him. And if you have him on your fantasy team, you're starting him this week because he has shown you to be an excellent replacement when Cook has missed time, most recently with the shoulder injury.